Hi, my name is Nailah, and today I'm going to give a little bit a short talk on art and effective computing and my proposal on using a holistic approach to studying art and effective computing. And I am actually now a postdoctoral researcher at the National Institute of Informatics, and I did my undergraduate and my graduate study in computer science. And then I discovered the beautiful world of cognitive science and all its ambiguity and complexity while I was doing my PhD. And until now, I'm very devoted and very passionate about cognitive science. And my passion is actually to incorporate cognitive science and computer science for technologies on the web. So I'm going to talk about women in ICT, the stereotype gender issues, and then my opinion is that before we invent the future is that to seek history, and then I'm going to give just a little bit of examples of inspiring women from all over the world and a perspective. So women in ICT, the stereotype gender issues is that so it is a gender issue right now because there are underrepresentation of women in science and technology. So it adds up to the gender differences and inequalities in this field. And then the problem is worse in Africa because many male math and science teachers, they view that girls can't think or work scientifically, that science is too mechanical and technical for girls. But the goal of my talk today, towards the end, I hope to make a point that science is not too mechanical. It's not too technical. Science is amazing. It's a whole new world there. It's amazingly ambiguous. It's amazingly complex, but it's amazingly it's kind of like soul searching doing science. It's equivalent to living doing science, and it's not technical. There are many different aspects of science, and technical may be one of them, but what I'm trying to show here, that holistic, which is another approach to studying technology, it's more considering a whole of parts rather than just viewing technical solely as technology. So as I say, that is we tend to see ICT sector as a realm of society that is unfriendly and dominated by men, and we kind of like associate, okay, men should be engineers and women should be in business and marketing or fashion designers. Even fashion designers are dominated by men, and we kind of associate technology with men, assume that its production, application, and maintenance are areas that fall easily into the male domain. And but these are all stereotypical ideas about technologies. And if we look into history, how did this come about this stereotype ideas about technology? And technology in its traditional sense is that we kind of view technology as, black box. You have this iPhone or you have this iPod, and you kind of don't know what goes into making that iPhone or iPod. You kind of like just see the product, and it kind of like if you read articles about these products, they don't talk about how people combine social user perspective in developing that technology. That it's not just a black box. There is ethnography work involved, anthropology, there's psychology, there's art and design, how to make it very beautiful, very aesthetic, and that these are not being projected up front. This is not being discussed dominantly. We kind of like just talk about the technology, but kind of like letting out the social user aspect away from it. So I guess this is like the basic idea of knowledge representation of technologies, that you kind of model it in if then. But the knowledge of technology should include user input, because the user is the center. People are the center. People in life and relationship it is the center of the technology building actually. And if you include more user, then if you include and put user human as the center of building the technology, then you need a more holistic approach. So you need to be modeled as both framework technology plus user social. And my suggestion to invent the future is that we need a holistic study of technology. And actually, this idea is not a new idea. It's a long idea. I think it's an old idea. It's an approach that people have been trying to put front using holistic approach. Because in the real world practice, building and understanding technology is a connection between the two. You have the hard approach. You can never forget. You cannot remove the logics and the mathematics. It's on the upper level of kind of a foundation, but beneath that there is the holistic approach that forms the foundation of the logics and mathematics, social science, anthropology, art, psychology, literature. So social science, because you're studying like communities of practice, gender issues. Even anthropology, you're looking into society in a more global, more worldwide aspect, country, cultures, languages. And you have arts, because technology is also about designing, about being creative, making things or technology more aesthetic. Psychology, because you need to understand the psychology of remembering, of how do people perceive things, how do people feel when they interact with technology or with other person, and how does technology change the relationship between a person's interaction or communication. And the literature, I just add that literature because there's a lot of inspiration and creativity that can come just from reading literature. An example of a study of holistic study of technology I take from Lucy Suchman, Plans and Situated Actions, and it is Lucy Suchman. I guess she was the pioneer in putting forth a holistic study of technology, and she made a lot of major contribution to the foundation of human-computer interaction, which includes situated cognition, ethnographic analysis, conversational analysis, and so forth. So what do I mean by this holistic thing? I've been using this word. So the holistic is not saying that it's not scientific. Holistic is just the idea that instead of viewing an entity as a single entity, you're viewing an entity, a set of entity, and trying to understand how they reorganize, how they adapt, and how they interact with one another, and trying to explain them as a whole instead of explaining one entity. So looking into this entity, we map back into user and technology, and it's also the same. You're looking into how a person uses iPhone to connect to the family, to business colleague, and how they interact, and what other components, the social aspect, the culture aspect, or perhaps the religion aspect, the language aspect. And this is what I mean by holistic study of technology. So how can this benefit? For example, what are the branches that women could generally be really good? For example, in affective computing. So affective computing is a branch of AI that deals with the design of systems and devices that can recognize, interpret, and process human emotions. So it's computing that relates to, arises from, or deliberately influence emotion or other affective phenomena. And if you try to do effective computing on the web, so it's even more complex.